you tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about accessible tourism and events and how it is definitely worth your business investing in it. So unfortunately this morning I had a bit of trouble with the speakers, so I'm hoping that it's working tonight. And if you didn't get to hear me this morning, welcome back. But if you're just joining me now for the first time, welcome to you as well. So we'll start off by doing an acknowledgement of country, which 30 Foot Drop would like to acknowledge traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and the community. We pay our respects to them and their cultures, to the elders both past and present. 30 Foot Drop funding. 30 Foot Drop would like to acknowledge the Department of Communities Disability Services for funding this and many other initiatives. Without their support, so many projects such as Two Wise Monkeys wouldn't see the light of day and would be much more poorer as a community. So we are very grateful for this opportunity. This workshop is part of an Realities and Advantages Access and Inclusion Grant awarded to 30 Foot Drop as part of the Information, Linkages and Capacity Building grants for 2018 and 2019. Okay, we'll just go through some housekeeping with 30 Foot Drop. Unfortunately, we do not have all the resources to monitor all of our live streaming platforms. So if you do have a message or you do want to chat or say something, please have a look at the link below this video and follow that link, which is www.30footdrop.com.au/live. So you can jump on there, hit the live button and you can chat and talk about anything you like. And if you have any questions, that's no problem. Okay, we'll be covering a lot of information in a short period of time. So we ask attendees if you could please try and minimise any distractions. I know that's pretty difficult right now because of the current situation. Lots of people are working from home. I am working from home tonight, hence why I'm still getting used to everything, and hopefully not, but we may get a little knock on the door from my children, so we'll fingers crossed that they leave me alone. Anyway, that's what if that happens, that's what it is. So please make sure that if you talk about 30 Foot Drop on social media, please tag us. We need our message to be put out there, and the more people that can tag and share our page and our information, and especially our webinars, the more changes can be made into our community. And if you know anyone that might benefit from these webinars, please let them know. We have 6 webinars that we run. We run 3 each week. Sorry, but go into the lounge, please, and I'll see you soon. If you know anyone that might benefit from the webinars, please let them know and share our information. We're available on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Vimeo, I think. We'll be recording the session, so if you want to go back and look at any other information, everything is back on the website. And you can also, if you need to rewatch this particular webinar, you can rewind it and watch whatever you need to once I hit the end button. We'll be referencing a lot of information during this. Sources will be available on the website. So if you want to look deeper into anything, all the sources are available on the website. And at the end of the webinar, we have a short survey that we'd love for you guys to fill out if you can. It only takes a couple of seconds to fill out, and any feedback for us is going to be good. Okay, so let's head into the next part, which is introductions. I am hear no evil, and the other monkey there is see no evil. See no evil is Ben, and he's the director and 30-foot drop and Two Wise Monkeys. He has a more visible disability, and through his disability he realised that there wasn't the facilities or the knowledge around disability. There wasn't enough. So that is why 30-foot drop and Two Wise Monkeys was brought into the world, because Ben needed to make these changes and people needed to start realising that things they were doing weren't really working. So me, on the other hand, I'm Lisa, and I am hear no evil, as I said, and just by looking at me you probably can't tell what I may suffer from. Through me, you will realise that you will hear no evil about impairment. Teachers used to hit me on the head, read out my low marks, and yell at me in front of my classmates. And as an 8-year-old, of course, making me feel completely dumb and unworthy. And as a girl back in those days, it wasn't as known, I don't think, that girls were to have it. So it was a little bit harder for me to get the diagnosis, but that eventually came, and it was interesting because dyslexia can have lower levels with spelling or maths, but then my intelligence at 8 was the intelligence of a 12-year-old. So it's like it wasn't level enough. But interesting, because apparently my emotional intelligence at 8 was just like phenomenal. So there's all these different things that come into it, and you do find your passion. I found my passion in art, and that's taken me all around the world, where I've worked in various art galleries. I've organised exhibition, done the marketing, design of invitations, all sorts of things. And I have a diploma in counselling as well, because I just love to help people, and this job also helps me to try and help people. And at present I have my own photography business. If you want to check it out, it's Lisa Hall Creative. Next slide. So, isn't there supposed to be 3 monkeys? Who do you guys think the third monkey might be? Did you guess right? The third monkey is you. The aim of today's workshop is to turn you into a wise monkey. You'll begin on a journey of realising that, impairment or not, we're all human and deserve to be acknowledged and treated in the same way as anyone else in the community and around the world. So it's such an important message. We all deserve to be treated fairly and respected, and that's especially important with the health crisis that's going on. I feel like there's something bigger going on, that we all need to come together a bit more as a community, and this workshop definitely is making that happen, and we really hope that changes are made from it. So how are we going to get you started on the path of the wise monkey? Well, there's a lot to learn about people with impairment and their potential impact on your business. First, we are going to look at the most recent Australian research that you can understand, so that you can understand the size of the accessible tourism market in WA, Australia. This is an exciting market to learn about, especially if you are watching tonight. This market has definitely been forgotten, and let's look at this lost market. And please, along the way, ask yourself, is your business accommodating the needs for these people? After this, we will be breaking it down into segments and examine the characteristics and habits of it. To finish off, we'll do an open forum chat session where you can ask questions and we can talk about things. But like I said before, along the way, you're welcome to send any questions that you might have. So how are we going to cover this? What will our teaching method be? The answer is fun and open and honest discussion. If we can't be open with each other about the issues we have around disability and impairment, then things cannot be changed. So the more open we can be, the more changes can be made. You'll notice as well that there's very little written content on our slides, and that is because we are all here to interact with each other, but it also makes it easy for people with disability or impairment to understand the slides. It's easy to follow, there's not too much information on there where you're trying to keep up with the reading, it's not confusing, and that's the main point of why we've got it like this. It's simple and effective. Okay, next is terminology and review. To reduce confusion and ensure understanding, I want to review some of the terminology that we use in our sessions. The first is the difference between disability and impairment. An impairment is an injury, illness, or congenital condition that causes or is likely to cause a loss or difference of psychological and physiological function. In short, an impairment is your medical diagnosis. So my medical diagnosis, for example, would be mild dyslexia. A disability, on the other hand, is the loss or limitation of opportunities to take part in society on an equal level with others due to social and environmental barriers. It is, as the word implies, something that makes you unable to access or participate in something. So if you had a mobility issue, and say you're watching right now and you have a cafe that's slightly on a hill, for instance, and you've only got either stairs or a steep ramp to get up the hill. Now, someone with a mobility issue isn't going to be able to access your business, and someone with a wheelchair definitely isn't going to be able to. So you need to look at things like this that are making people not able to come into your business, to access your business. So that's where the access part comes from. So someone like me, to access your information on your business, too much wording or stylized script can make it hard for people with dyslexia or another kind of learning disability, which then makes it hard for us to get the right information that we need to use your business. This is especially important because some disabilities and impairments are hidden like mine. And this means that you are potentially missing out on this hidden market, or both markets, the disabled, the impairment, and the hidden. Terminology to do with disability and impairment makes sense. Next, we will look at access and inclusion. Access refers to the removal or reduction of physical barriers to participate in activities and functions of a community. At its core, access focuses a lot on the physical world around us and can be easily assessed with a checklist. So this is easily assessed. You can assess whether you have accessible toilets, whether you have accessible pathways, things like that. But inclusion, on the other hand, is definitely different. It's more of a psychological state of being. Every person, irrespective of their age, disability, gender, sexual preference, religion, or nationality, who wishes to, can participate fully in all aspects of an activity in the same way as every other member in the community. So it's making that person that has a disability or an impairment feel included. If they walk into your cafe and you have not made them feel included because they're in a wheelchair or they have a clear disability, then they are not going to feel included and they probably won't be coming back. So you need to make sure that you are making these people feel included in your business. Hopefully that makes sense, the terminology and review. We will now be going over the next part, which is the stats. Southwest Tourism Stats Overview. The following stats have been taken from the Southwest 2017 Visitors Factor Sheet, as well as the economic contribution of tourism and Western Australia's tourism regions produced by Tourism WA. Both of the stats information is all found in our resource library on the website and the link below. So So during the 3 years from 2014 to 2016, our region had an average of 2.49 million overnight visitors. This does not include day trippers. Every visitor stayed 3.6 nights. The direct and indirect contribution to the Southwest region in 2016 and 17 was 14%. And tourism accounts for 1 in 5 people being employed in this region. Huge. The accessible tourism market. The following stats have come from a report called The Accessible Tourism of Victoria and Queensland, done by Tourism Research Australia in conjunction with each state's tourism departments. Unfortunately, there is no research that has been released that focuses directly on WA, but this report also focuses on Australia as a whole. So it also looks at the domestic market, so these numbers are likely higher when international visitors are included. But due to the similarities of the Southwest tourism market and those of New South Wales and Queensland, we have extracted the findings to calculate the following information. This study estimates that the size of the accessible tourism market for overnight or day trips is 7%, or about 1.3 million people, Australia-wide, equating to 150,000 in WA alone. The thing is, with this 7%, most of us rarely holiday alone, with an average party size of 2.45 for overnight travel and 2.45 for overnight travel and 2.62 for day trips, bringing this figure now to 17%, or 390,000 people 390,000 of WA's population requiring accessible tourism experiences and services. The estimated annual expenditure for this segment comes to approximately $8 billion Australia-wide, which equates to 916 million WA-wide and 163 million here in the Southwest. Now that is a lot of potential business for you guys watching in the Southwest. The unserved market. This report noted that there is a segment of Australians with an impairment, including adults caring for a child with an impairment, who are not currently travelling, which is really sad, but would like to travel with certain industry improvements in accommodation, transport and current technologies. In WA, this segment is estimated at 34,000 people, which is approximately 225 million WA-wide. Huge. This represents a large boost when you consider the current size is 163 million. Definitely something to think about with those figures. Okay, now let's look at understanding the market. So we know that there is a market segment of people with impairment that can be tapped into by tourism and events businesses. Now let's have a look at their needs so that you can better understand how you can serve them. Although people with impairment generally have lower incomes, although people with impairment generally have lower incomes than the average population as a whole, they should not be considered as low income. More than 1/4 of those who identified as having an impairment were in the top 2 income categories, which meant they have a disposable income of $900 per week. In the Accessible Tourism Survey, they found that approximately 55% of the segment had a mobility issue. This includes people who use mobility devices and those that have difficulty moving more than a short distance. Of those in the segment that do not travel, 23% was because it was just too stressful. And the other 22% was because it was just too hard. Like most Australian people, in this segment, they travel for leisure, but it was noted that visits to friends and relatives were often preferred because of knowing the layout of the accommodation, which helped with the planning and resulted in a less stressful trip. So it's really important to note that, okay, these people with disability and impairments are travelling, but they aren't travelling to your business because they find it stressful and hard. And if you don't have the accessible facilities in your business, then they're not coming to your business. So take a look around your business and see how accessible it is for someone with a disability or impairment. Are there little adjustments that you need to make so that these people can now choose you as a business to come and visit? Okay, let's go on to understanding the market part 2. Travellers with impairments share many characteristics with the broader population. The tools used in decision making were just the same as the wider population, with internet searches coming in first and word of mouth second. Reconnection and unwinding are core needs for all Australian travellers, and this is just as true for people with disability or impairment. Approximately 40% of travellers with an impairment sought to meet those needs through either more active, more emotionally, or more intellectually stimulating experiences. So that just highlights to us that we all just want and need the same thing, which is to feel included in your business. Although travellers with impairment did slightly fewer activities, many of the experiences they participated in matched those of the broader population. Doing things like going out for dinner, visits to the beach, nature and cultural experiences. Overall, they tended to stay in the same types of accommodation and visited the same destinations as the broader population. And of those visitors, only 14% were over 65. So a lot of people sort of think, oh, it's just for the older people need this and that. It's not just the older people that need it. It is people with disability impairment. And as you can see from watching this tonight, it is actually a big market segment. And there's a lot of money to be spent. And I know this current health crisis, we're not really spending much at the moment, but now is the time to look at your business and look at your website, look at your marketing, look at all these sorts of different things that you might need to change so that it is accessible and inclusive for people with disability and impairment. So there's a lot of people out there needing your business. And it isn't just the older population. Many families and people who I'm sure would love to come and visit your business. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. It is a short one tonight, but there's a lot of information in there, important, short, easy information to comprehend. Those stats are just crazy with how much money there is out there to be spent, and so now it is up to you guys to take a look at the changes that need to be made. But I really encourage you to watch the other 5 webinars. They're all about the stats and who the Australian population with disability impairment are, the actual percentages of people. What else are we looking at? There's another tourism events one in part 6, and there's so many things that we're going to be looking at through these webinars that will all help you to change your business. So it will help you to understand that you may need different formats for different people. You can realize what these formats are. You can go over transport, all sorts of things, how to make the changes in your business. So today's one is mostly focused at the southwest WA, but the other webinars are focusing on the changes that need to be made, how to do them, who's involved, who to get in touch with, how to employ people with disability and impairment, which is another amazing one, and definitely something else that you guys should be thinking about. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's lovely short webinar. I will be back on the 28th of April. I keep saying the 27th, but it's actually the 28th. We're having a short school holiday break, and then we are back. If you do have to go, though, that is totally fine. If you have some questions for me, I'm going to stay on the line, and please message me. Okay. So I will just press the break open forum button. If you do have to go, please stay well and look after each other. But I will see the rest of you in 5 minutes. Thank you. Both of you. This one. Have you just got on it? I can just start with it. Okay, welcome back. There doesn't appear to be any questions tonight, which is totally fine. I'm sure some of you have some things that you need to get done, like putting the kids to bed, reading them a book. I've certainly got to do that. But yeah, I know this current situation is awful and it's hard, but try and look after each other. Try and stay well. There doesn't appear to be any questions tonight, which is totally fine. I'm sure some of you have some things that you have to get done, like putting the kids to bed, health crisis, reading them a book. I've certainly got to do that because it's so much harder to get to the shops. And I know this current situation. So if you can and you know anyone, please help them get them some groceries, take them out. There doesn't appear to be any questions tonight, which is totally fine. Offer to get something from the shop for them. It's all the little things and the positive changes that we can make together so that everyone can be better and better friends. And that's all that we want in life. So if you can, everyone together and everyone to help them. We all deserve to take them out. Anyway, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, and I hope that you all have an amazing Easter and that Easter Bunny treats you well. I know this crisis is making me eat a lot of chocolate because that's all there is. That's all I see when I go to the supermarket. And what else can you do when you're stuck at home but eat and bake? It's terrible. Anyway, take care everyone, and I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.